Shayne, just looking back at the last two games, I think some of the biggest noticeables have been your guys' defensive lapses, odd man rushes, things like that. I think Newsy said last night against Minnesota that you guys gave up 6 grade A scoring chances in the first period. If you can just give your perspective on where you think those lapses are happening and why.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it's self-inflicted, trying to make that extra play, turning pucks over. I think the biggest thing last night was the turnovers. It was insane. It's not our team. It's not our style of play, obviously. And, obviously we got to be a lot better than that. Rhymes played a heck of a game for us. He kept us in this game. It was 2-1 going into the third, and, it could have been 4 or 5-1, and then we let him down in the third. So, I think for us it's a lot of self-infliction, and, I think we just got to get back to the way we play.
Are you confident, with just the guys in the room and the way that things are going right now, that you guys are able to make those small adjustments and hopefully get back on track soon here?
Yeah, I mean, you saw for the first 25 games, we're a top 5 team in the league. So, I think for us, we know what's in this room. I think that's the most important thing. We got to believe in each other, and, we got to get out of this.
And then you have 2 home games coming up, obviously Nashville and then Boston on New Year's Eve before heading out on the West Coast road trip. How important are these 2 games to come away with some points?
Yeah, they're huge. They're 2 huge games for us in the sense that, we're playing at home in front of our fans, and, we haven't been playing too well. So, for us, to get 4 points here and, focus on our defensive side of the puck, and it'll be good.
And then just one more question for you. Simon Edvinsson has been a fan favorite since he was drafted by the Red Wings at 6th overall, and he's obviously playing with you guys right now. What have you seen from him in the time he's been here this season? Yeah,
just a polished game. Very poised with the puck. He's obviously a big frame too, and he could skate like the wind. So, I think the most eye-opening thing for me is, how good he is with the puck and the plays he makes and the passes he can make, especially for a bigger guy. He could really skate.
Thank you, Shayne. Appreciate it.
Yep.
We got a good group of guys in here, and we're going to stick together, and we're going to lay it on the line tomorrow. And that's all we can do is just focus on the next 24 hours.
Your position is probably the most pressurized position in all professional sport. I mean, last line of defense, I can give you every cliche in the book.
I agree with you.
You should. But my point being is that when a team is slumping, how much extra internal pressure do you put on yourself? Because probably the remedy would be is if you shut out the Predators. Or, you know what I mean? You're thinking, do you think shut out, or do you?
No, I can't believe you even said that.
Yeah, well, hey, I can say it because I'm not playing.
No, I don't. You can't think like that. It's not a healthy way to think. And like you said, it's kind of one of those. It's like golf a little bit, where it's like the harder you try, the worse it gets, right? And it's like you're gripping it. And so there's that sweet spot of trusting yourself, working very hard, but also kind of having a feel for the bigger picture and, the vibes and stuff like that. So you get better at it with experience. It's obviously never easy, like you said. If you go into any game or situation thinking that it's going to be simple and easy, that's when you get smacked in the face. So you have to go in with full preparation, with that killer attitude, and just keep going.
Is your mindset always, I can't let anything in no matter what, regardless of the game, even if you're on a 10-game losing streak or winning streak, you just say, I just got to go out there and just play?
I don't think about goals at all. I think about and I think as a goalie, as you get older, you have the ability to separate yourself from the results. And that's ultimately what you're trying to get to, is because if you let in a bunch of goals one night, you want to have the ability to bounce back the next day too. So it's like you got to look at the big picture. My goal and thought process is if I can work as hard as I can, it's going to resonate with the team, gives people confidence, and it also is just a good baseline for me when things are going bad. Hey, I'm putting in the work and I'm preparing the right way, and good things are going to happen if you do that. Truly.
Short memory there.
Yeah, short memory.
Alex, I'm sorry if you already answered this, but how are you feeling on the injury front? Where are you at right now?
I feel great. I'm ready to go. Just really happy and excited to be back with the team, and obviously, we've been grinding through a little lately, but I'm just super happy to hopefully be able to contribute to a win tomorrow night.
It's really important for us to have a little bit of a reset back to what makes us good, and that's work ethic and working away from the puck, being good in our defensive zone. So we got to, for getting in late, it was pretty spirited, and I think we needed that.
What do you think's been just the biggest difference defensively from the way you guys were playing during that stretch after coming back from Sweden? Is just little details of the game that you guys are missing that you had before?
It's just shooting ourselves in the foot. I mean, we just make mistakes, and then we compound mistakes by more mistakes, and that's really just how it's been going. So as things have slid, it seems the more mistakes we make, the more they end up in the back of our net. So I think the details, that would be my thought on our details.
You just kind of mentioned about you guys have lost kind of like your identity or something like that. I mean, compared to what you guys were doing earlier in the season, is that basically the same thing like you've been talking about here?
I think early in the season we were hard to play against. We're not hard to play against right now, and we still work hard. We've had some questionable efforts, but we for the most part work hard. You look at a couple of the goals last night, we're over back checking, and we're just not. When you're fighting confidence, you start overthinking things, and I think that's what we've been doing personally and as a team. So we need to get back to keeping it simple, working smart and hard. We can't be running around a million miles an hour and then run out of position.
It sounds like you're kind of saying like trying to do too much, basically.
Absolutely, yeah. And when you're fighting the puck and you're you feel like you have to score and score and score, you give up so much, and we've been giving up way too much.
You don't want to say sense of urgency, game 40 or whatever it is, but eventually you guys need to turn it around here, right? I mean, just to start earning some points again, basically.
Absolutely, yeah. And it hasn't been a great stretch, but we did some good work early in the season, and we're not far out of it. We're not in the position we want to be, but we're not at the bottom. We get on a run. We can keep working. So keep working back up the standings.
What have you learned about what it takes to play with Kane after a couple of games on his line here now?
Yeah, I think known him for a little bit. Him and Alex have really good chemistry. So it's fun to play with those guys. They make plays, but they work, and Kaner works for pucks. He works back check. He works on the forecheck. So I'm standing at the net a lot, but I'm trying to clear space, which is different for me, but it's kind of necessary with those two guys.
I know it's cliche, sounds cliche, but just playing with those two guys, they do seem like think the game in a different type of way or something. Do you agree? Or?
No, I mean, yes, but no. I mean, they're elite players. They look to make plays, and they value the puck. They value when you work to get it, to keep it, and that's how I like to play. So I think it's a great message for a guy like Bergen coming in, Raymond. Guys like that yes, they're good with it, but they work so hard to get it and to keep it, especially Kaner.
Dylan, just a quick follow-up on what Ted was saying. When you play with two guys that seem to be so in sync, on the same page, how much do you have to alter your Do you have to change your way of thinking, I guess? No,
I try not to. I know what I bring. I know what I do. That makes me good. There's only one puck out there, so all three guys want it. That's really the only big difference is but they're smart. They're especially Kaner. He's such a smart player that if you get open, he's going to find you. And I still try and be a skater in the neutral zone and transition the puck. So the biggest difference is being around the net more and not as much in the high ice and on 5-on-5. So it's that's the only adjustment.
All right. Lyon, is he good to go now?
Yeah, Alex Lyon's good to go. He'll be in net tomorrow.
Just, I know it hasn't all been on the goalies,
Yeah, of course. We'd love to get the Alex Lyon, whatever he's at, 938. A handful of his performances where he was excellent. And again, you're exactly right. This has not been on our goalies. James Reimers got us to 2-2 in the third. Even Hutch the other night got us 2-1 up in the third. It's just very frustrating that it's similar type, just egregious mistakes. I mean, every game, and you can go back 7, 8, and 9 games, they're all like underlying numbers either are even in chances or we've outchanced our opponent. But the grade A types, I mean, last night, handful apiece, chances are even. We probably even outchance them. But the grade A's, the breakaways, 2-on-1s, of self-inflicted plays, was almost 2-1 for them. Obviously, tough on our goalie.
Why do you think the puck management, game management has taken a dip?
Risk in our game, I think DNA. Again, you saw it today. We just haven't been able to practice. It's some of our forwards who are all. I mean, we have some skilled guys, and even throughout our lineup, even our depth forwards have some offense to them and have scored this year. I just think it's a little DNA that has to change. We'll get ours. We just have to play the right way and get ours correctly.
What brings that out, you think, Derek? Is this maybe like
Pressing a little bit,
started-
offensive confidence. They lean. I think everyone thinks they got to do it on themselves. I mean, even as bad as a couple of our turnovers were, we had some D up ice trying to get involved. That created even more of the odd man situation. We don't need that. We're going to get our offense, and when we do it correctly, 50 minutes of the game last night, 50 minutes of the game against New Jersey, 40, 45 minutes, probably 50 minutes of even the Philly game to get 6. Yep.
A player who had won it was a Red Wing, went away, won a Stanley Cup, came back, was a Red Wing. Before they had won any cups, I asked him what was the difference between the team that won the cup and these Red Wing teams, which were just every bit as good as the team that he had played for. And he said, when a team starts struggling, it's trust in your teammate. Everybody tries to do everybody else's job.
Yep.
Is that true?
100%.
Is that what's going on right now?
Yeah, I would say so, and it's just moments. I mean, we're sitting here, we win against Philly, and we're 2-2 in the third period on the road in both hockey games. And for us to have just play, and it's just plays. I wouldn't say our game. It's plays to creep into our game, and unfortunately, it's been extremely costly right now.
How do you address that, or can a coach address it, or do they know?
Yeah, you saw practice today. I mean, and that was a hard practice, but it wasn't a message practice. It was literally our first practice. We've literally had 2 in 6 weeks, it feels like. That's the first time we could literally have a legit practice. So today was, we needed it. So it's a little bit of both. Get your game in order. You work your way through this, but more it was just some details in your game. But it's got to be due from the guys. I mean, you can only show so much video. You can only talk about it. The most disappointing part of yesterday was the second period, and that we had actually a really good first period. You take out that first shift, which was disappointing for a start, but I mean, we could have been up 3-1. We were not. And then just to turn the puck over the way we did, to give them the easy offense, we were very fortunate to get out 2-1. Then to have a little push after we talked about it a little bit after the second, and there was no doubt in my mind at 2-2 we were going to win that game. You could just feel it. The next 2 shifts, we had them buried. We almost scored. And then just an ill-advised odd man in our net, and then it just fell apart.
Are Petrie and Audible available?
Yep, both will be available and both will be playing.
The Valeno still.
Yeah, but Lyon obviously couldn't finish practice today, so he won't be available tomorrow.
Does that mean Edvinson's coming out, or is he still?
Evanson, what's appropriate have to talk about, but we'd likely go with our veteran guys. We'll confirm that probably in the morning. I like Simon. A little casual, lacked a little urgency in this game in New Jersey, but was pretty good the last from that point on. Did a good job for us coming in.